What becomes more messed up the longer you think about it? Why anything exists. And this is how one starts down the lovely road of an existential crisis. Once you get past the initial shock, existentialism is quite liberating. Unless it breaks you. Owning pets. I still love them though. I see it more as I stole this animal from its biological mother, and have forced it to live with me and love me in order for it to receive food and shelter. Did you ever have a cat? The cat owns me. I feed it whenever she wants, she crawls on my head at night, I pet her when she mews at me. Dogs have masters, cats have staff. Owning a dog is one thing. They are a species that literally wouldn't exist without human manipulation of their genome. They evolved to need us, and they're happier with us. Horses have a similar history, but less so. I think they would be happier if they could just have a herd and roam free, but I imagine that could vary a lot depending on their breeding. Cats are sort of a gray area. Are they wild? Are they domesticated? Who knows? They seem to tolerate us for the most part. Anything that is kept in a cage, though, just shouldn't be kept as a pet. I love exotics and have kept several reptiles. Through experience, I've come to the conclusion that this just isn't right. Personally, I can't do it anymore. People think reptiles don't have the same feelings as mammals, but I have lived with them, and trust me, no animal wants to live in a cage. And don't even get me started on birds. The only exception I can think of to the cage rule is maybe rats, only because they've been bred so much they're a lot like dogs. Some people get away with unforgivable crimes because they could afford a good lawyer. Some people are punished for crimes they did not commit because they could not afford a good lawyer. This is even worse, in my opinion. It can be debated what someone who has committed a crime deserves, but few people would say someone who has not violated the law deserves legal punishment. My grandma's life, and how she fills her time day after day. She's up at the crack of dawn. Zero hobbies. Doesn't really watch TV. Stopped cooking a year ago. What does she do all day? Isn't she bored? Is she sad? I hope she's not sad. That kinda makes me sad. Now I want to spend time with her. That sounds like my dad. But he's also very difficult to get along with, and anything longer than 2 hours and we roll percentile dice for whether he loses his temper or suddenly gets moody as fuck. So I've not really felt the urge to spend time with him outside of dinner with him and my mom once a week. The amount of chickens in the world that get consumed each day. I thought about it when seeing a share portion of chicken wings in a restaurant. There were 12 wings in this one portion. That's at least 6 chickens that have died in that one dish. Consider how many of that dish the restaurant sells a day. Let's say at least 10. That's at least 60 chickens that have died just for that particular dish in that restaurant alone every day. Then think of how many other restaurants there are in your area. Then think about how many restaurants there are in the world. That's not even thinking about the amount of whole chickens that are bought to cook at home, or chicken that is used for pet food, etc. My mind can't comprehend how many chickens must be eaten daily. And I've just blown my mind again thinking about it whilst writing this comment. You can't be absolutely sure that whatever your senses tell you is reality. Not only does your brain have to interpret the world around you, but it also fills in gaps at random whether that's what's there or not. And is essentially a major reason for a lot of car accidents. Working to get money to pay for a house and car so you have a place to sleep and a way to get to work. Buy this car to go to work. Go to work to pay for this car. Freeways. We all agree to get on this big road and we have to go really fast but not too fast, and we're all in 4-ton metal machines that can blow up. Nobody fuck up. Just the fact that I pilot a 4-ton machine around is mind-blowing enough. Add in the fact that there's literally millions of other people that I don't know doing the very same thing, all with varying amounts of distraction. There are people driving right now that are only barely paying enough attention to the world around their death machine to just barely not hit anything. And I still enjoy driving. Why am I me instead of someone else? Then you realize you are someone else to someone else's me, and maybe they're asking the same question. It's about getting stuck in the loop of questioning the nature of consciousness, and trying to find purpose in the chaos of chance. It took me longer than I care to admit to fully realize and accept that everyone else is as wrapped up in their own head as I am. They're not all just extras and bit characters in my life's movie, they have their own life movie and I'm an extra bit character in theirs. I don't have a life movie. I just shit, eat, and sleep. Maybe I am an extra in your life. Technology, man. I'm writing this on a tiny pocket-sized computer while I'm sitting on my toilet. What the fuck? And we use them most of the time to get in arguments with strangers and watch videos of cats. You're made of atoms. Somehow these atoms have arranged themselves so that they can think about their existence in this arrangement. Even more so, all we are is a relationship between a set of certain types of atoms. The atoms aren't thinking about themselves. An abstract entity formed from a relationship of physical objects is, in theory, a particularly complex grid of rocks in a desert could do the same thing. Or a computer. Or an entire universe. The atoms don't care. Only the relationship does. Drinking culture. We basically go out with friends to poison ourselves until we can't even remember the memories we went out to have. It's not just humans that do this either. Dolphins will chew on poisonous puffer fishes to get high. They'll even puffer past the puffer fish to their dolphin stoner buddies so they can get high too. If you spend enough time thinking about anything in our society, at some point you will start to wonder why we do or accept the fucked up things that we do. When I was a kid, I knew that my life goal was to become successful. But I didn't know what that really meant at all. I was taught that one day, my life will need to be successful. I was raised that way, not only by my parents, but by school, by books, by TV, by everything. And what does success really mean? It means a lot of things, but to society, it equals money. Do you have goals? I have goals. Have you ever reached a goal? What happens? You feel great. You achieved what you set out to achieve. And then what? You create another goal. And so on, and so forth. There is no status quo. There is no end game. Humans must evolve. There must always be a next goal. So go out there and achieve your goal. But beware, don't celebrate your achieving too much. People might think you're gloating. And don't under-celebrate it either. People might think you don't give a shit. Celebrate it just right, and for the exact right amount of time. And then move on. That's what society tells you, anyway. Why? Why must we live like this? What happens when you have achieved everything you want in life? What if, we as a human race, achieve everything? What if we reach a point in our history where we have created everything, thought of every idea, and had every conversation? Is that possible? I know it's not. Haven't you been listening? There is no end game. We must evolve. That's what we do. I often look at animals and wonder how they live such happy lives when most of them don't have any goals at all. Eat, reproduce, sleep, and survive. Those 4 goals drive 99.99% of the species on Earth. Tanning. I can just imagine David Attenborough giving commentary. In an effort to attract the attention of the opposite sex, the females risk skin cancer by laying in artificial sun beds to intentionally burn their own skin. This causes their skin to produce melatonin, which results in an overall darker complexion. I once read that in South Africa lighter skin tones are preferred. So to achieve that, girls use skin bleaching products. You can imagine how healthy skin bleaching is. Happens all over Asia. The price we force others to pay to live as we do. If you think about it, so much of our stuff is built in shit conditions. Built by people who have to take whatever money they can, in countries often without the kindest of governments, which permit factories to enforce pretty horrible labor conditions. Our clothes are produced this way. Our phones, our laptops, the cases they come in. The suffering that is endured to allow us to live in comfort is horrifying. And yet none of us will change our lifestyle, myself included. We'll make excuses. One person changing won't make any difference. Or I donate to charity. I'm trying to help these people in my own way, but ultimately we live with it because it's easy. We were born in the right place to take advantage of it. So we do. How you truly can know a person. Someone you once thought the world of could become unrecognizable and a disappointment. How you can do so much for a person and are solely relying on their selflessness and hope that they are good. It's a truly terrifying notion, as I am not one to give up on people easily. To make me means you failed, and failed hard as a person. But I fail in seeing these faults quick enough, and that is the most fucked up thing once I admit that. The butterfly effect of previously seemingly small choices in our past. How much would be different if I made different choices? A almost disturbingly large part of my life can basically be traced back to when I begged my mom to let me play World of Warcraft. Essentially my friends, jobs, living situations, have all been changed because of the people I met on WoW. And even odder than that, choices like which server and faction I chose. Had I not picked the server I did, I would have never met a very good friend of mine. It's like so many little things fell into place and completely changed my life. If I think about it, it mind fucks me trying to determine how my life may be different. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.